Going on? Broke Investor here. Another chalkboard video. So today's chalkboard video is about HSAs. A new topic that many people are probably familiar with for the most part nowadays, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't really know everything they need to about HSAs in general. So I figured I'd make a quick chalkboard video and cover everything I know and everything that I just researched on it. So let's get started. So yeah, HSA is obviously it's a health savings account. I had to just zoom in a little more, so maybe cut off the camera every now and then. I'm sure you don't mind, but I want you guys to see the actual font on the chalkboard. This is a full chalkboard video for once. So HSA, again, that's the acronym for the health savings account. It's a tax-favored savings account. It's created to help pay medical expenses. So the idea is most people now, basically since the Affordable Care Act, most people have a deductible. So the companies that you work for, in the past probably, they could have like the Cadillac plan, it's called, good insurance, where basically you're just worried about the premium and you don't have to pay anything. That was the case for me, at least. And then since the Affordable Care Act, there was changes in the whole medical field. I don't know the specifics, but long story short, companies had to pay a little more to offer, I guess, these Cadillac plans to stay competitive. But in the end, companies had to change the way, how their medical plans work. So a lot of people now, they have to pay a deductible every single year. So that's money out of pocket. So you'll pay the premium as usual, but now you'll have a deductible, which means you have to pay a specific amount up front before your insurance actually kicks in. Yes, I know that sucks, but that was the idea, and that's how the HSA came about. So let's get started. Let's keep going. Who qualifies for an HSA? So if you work for a company, you probably already know this. So usually they offer two plans. One is a high deductible, one's a low deductible. So if you take the high deductible, and high deductible meaning for a single person, $1,350 deductible, or a family, $2,700, that's considered high. That's qualified for, in order to get an HSA. Other qualifications are you are not covered under other health insurance, you're not enrolled in Medicare, and you're not another person's dependent. So as long as that, you meet that criteria, you're able to get an HSA. And again, if you work for a company, you're likely, this and you get it through the company. So it's a lot easier that way. What's covered? What can you use the HSA for? So these are the expenses you can use it for: doctor's office visits, the co-pays, obviously, surgery, non-cosmetic, flu shots, physical therapy, prescriptions, dental, which is good, eye exams, eyeglasses, which I didn't know, but my wife did apparently, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, anything medical, dental, eyes, etc. So that's what's covered. And the limits, how much can you contribute per year for an HSA? Of course there's a limit. There's a limit for everything, God forbid we be able to put more money away. But the limits are, for if you're less than 55, you can put, if you're single, you can put up to $3,500 a year. Family plan, $7,000 a year. If you're 55 or older, you can put an additional $1,000 basically. So $4,500 if you're single, $8,000 under a family plan. So that's how much you can put in per year. And these limits are typically similar to the 401k. They will go up every single year, not by that much, but they'll go up with inflation, I guess. So who is an HSA good for? So basically it's for the super healthy people or the super unhealthy people. And why? For the super healthy people, The reason this is good is because you're never going to use your health insurance. So you'll pay a low premium, out of your paycheck, and nothing will come out of pocket. So you don't care about a high deductible. You're not even going to come close to reaching it if you're, a very healthy person. However, if you're super unhealthy, this could also be good because if, say, you use your insurance all the time and you breach your deductible, say come March, it's, in the first quarter sometime, then everything after that is essentially free as long as your co-insurance is 100%. Sometimes it's 90, 80%, but still, if you automatically are gonna, you're gonna breach that deductible anyway, why not pay the low premium and, use the HSA, cover what you can, and then the rest will be paid for. So that's at least my opinion. Withdrawals. So how can you take your money, or can you take your money out for anything else besides the list covered here? You can, but you'll pay a 20% tax penalty. Obviously, I can't spell penalty. I forgot the T. But yeah, 20%. It was 10% back in 2003 or so, but they increased it 10%. That's freaking ridiculous. So don't take your money out. Or you can use it for whatever you want when you're 65, permanently disabled, or dead. So, yeah, yay. All right, now, tax-free. Obviously, that's one of the benefits. So I made a little section in the corner there. So, yes, it's tax-free, federal income tax. California, state tax? No, it's not. New Jersey, state tax? No. They don't participate. These awful states, one of which I live in, suck. So if you live in California or New Jersey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for myself as well. All other states, yes, it's exempt. So where do you get an HSA? As I said before, your company is going to have it set up. So you just do it through them. You do it through the paycheck and they'll give you, the information. But if you have Obamacare or the Affordable Plan, the Affordable Plan Act, whatever the hell it's called, you can go to Fidelity, you can go to HSA Bank, and you can just Google it. So some of these have fees, some of these don't. So obviously, use the one that doesn't have a freaking fee. Some of them, they have fees until you reach a minimum. I don't know why, but they do. So if you use the Affordable Care Act, then yeah, you can go to a low fee, a no fee company that'll offer an HSA. So that's basically everything you need to know about an HSA. So, currently I do participate in an HSA, through my company. I try to put away, you choose the amount, you tell your company how much you want to put away per check, and that money goes into the health savings account. And the idea is you probably want to cover at least the deductible, so that way you pay nothing out of pocket. So you're paying the low premium and put whatever difference the premium would have been automatically into the HSA, plus whatever more to cover the high deductible every year. Now, when you get to a point where you aren't using your HSA and the money's just sitting there, there's also an option to invest the money in the HSA. So why the hell not? If it's just sitting there, you might as well make it, or make some real money off of the money. Otherwise, it's in a usual typical savings account, less than a 0.1, maybe it's 0.05%. Who the hell knows? But it's not earning anything. So if you have money and it's sitting there and they'll let you invest, I believe the minimum is $1,000. So as long as you have $1,000 minimum in your HSA, you can invest it into different stocks. I don't think it's individual stocks. Maybe some offer that, but I believe it's index funds for the most part. And if you use, again, it's tax-free, but when you put this money into index funds, you're going to have capital gains. You're going to have dividends. All of that is also tax-free as long as it's used properly for the covered expenses and, if you're 65 or whatever. So it's a beautiful thing. One other thing I wanted to cover, HSA. People probably heard of the FSA, the flexible spending account. That's what was around before. It was kind of just the same thing, savings account. You put away money towards your, health insurance, whatever you have to pay out of pocket. But the main difference between the two that I saw is the I can't talk, FSA money. If you don't use it, you lose it at the end of the year. I mean, that makes no sense to me. Why would anyone participate in a flexible spending account if they're going to lose their money if they don't lose it? Where does this money go? That's what I'd love to know. So don't use an FSA. That's stupid. HSA, it's basically like a retirement plan for your health coverage. Because you can, the way I'm looking at it now, I'm trying to build up a nest egg for my health insurance because God knows what the hell it's going to look like when I retire. Health insurance seems to keep going in the wrong direction. So I'd like to have the funding available, again, in index funds, sitting there ready to be used when I retire. Obviously, when you retire, you'll have, Medicare, whatever. So who knows how great that is? I don't know. Never looked into it, but I assume there's always going to be a damn deductible. So you're going to need money, and if you do die, that can, this money can be passed on to your wife, your children, etc. So it's a beautiful thing. So it's a health savings account. Again, this is for health insurance plans that are high deductible. And it's basically to get ahead, to have the money available, because anything can happen at any time, God forbid you break a bone, you do this, you do that, if you have children, anything can happen. They're nuts. So it's good to have the money available. So if you can put this money away tax-free, why the hell not, If you don't know if your company offers an HSA, well, time to find out. You might have to wait till January at renewal, but regardless, start looking into it now. And as always, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a doctor. I'm a broke investor making this video for fun and entertainment, trying to help, you guys out. As I learn, I spread the knowledge. So I'd like to hear your feedback below. Comment below if you have an HSA. Comment below if you don't. Why don't you? Or if your company doesn't offer it, I'd love to understand why. I believe most do, because most are offering the high deductible. It's cheaper for them. So, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. Click like, make a comment, share it around, all right? That's it for today. Broke Investor, chalkboard video done. Later.